when they make their roster change. And now he finds himself over here with Anger, and he's looking great. He's back on form for sure.
Back in form is correct. So we are going to get this knife round underway for the side choosing. And it is Stunna, like we mentioned, guys. Nothing is not here. He's on his way back from the podcast with Joe Rogan, so it's going to be Stunna standing in for him. And if he gets home in time, he will be subbed in the middle of this match.
Stunna's played before as well for them. Last season, middle of the season, he actually did pretty well. He was in the middle, I think, of the scoreboard for them. But either way, we'll see how long he's in for. We'll see if Jordan's made his way home. He's done being a star. What's the call going to be?
CT side, I would assume.
I would assume so.
On Mirage of all maps.
Yeah, that's the way you want to go. That's what it's going to be. They're going to stay. So Cloud9 not going to gamble on it. So here we go. The only undefeated team remaining in the league. Cloud9, few games behind on their schedule due to being away at Gfinity, but they want to continue on in that fashion. LG, a worthy opponent. They've got to make up for lost ground on that overtime loss last week to Synergy, who were winless before that game, believe it or not.
Yeah, that was a huge upset. That was absolutely massive. But, you know, a lot of people said, you know, it's kind of good at times that these teams get these losses out at the very beginning. Like, Luminosity looked really good heading into that loss. Keatstars looked fantastic into the loss against Cloud9. It humbles them a little bit, keeps them from getting a little bit too complacent, although that's definitely not Keatstar's problem. They lost that match against Cloud9 and, like, watched the demo of it. They watched the demo back, like, immediately after that.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, I think someone posted on the forum saying, like, no wonder, by the way, we have a pause right off the start. I don't know if this is going to be a Stunna maybe, already? It's hard to say. I didn't see what the pause was for. Either way, someone posted that screen cap of the video. There's new videos they're doing about the vlog of being in North America, and they say we basically start practice before we DM and we watch demos for about 4 hours a night. It's crazy commitment. You can learn a lot from doing that. I mean, just studying other teams that you aspire to be or you think are really strong in, you know, a CT side on this particular map. Let's watch them. Let's not watch NIP every single time because maybe they're weak here. Let's watch a better team. It's pretty cool the things you can pick up on. I think that the Keatstars guys definitely have that commitment for sure. I was going to make another point and then I lost my train of thought. I apologize. I'll fully admit that is what happened right there.
I would have never known if you didn't bring it up.
I know, but I'm not going to lie. That's totally what just happened. My ADD got the better of me.
It happens. It happens. And just as you said that about your ADD, pause time, freeze time gets canceled out, so you're going to get live into this pistol round here. So you can calm your ADD down and check it out.
Oh, I'm going to let it fly off the handle. So we'll get them rolling. Pistol round already underway. Shroud up in shadow aggressively. Really passive hold at B. It's only Sean Gares there, but that's going to work out so far because LG are committed onto the A site. Skadoodle window. He'll be able to rotate quickly.
This is a heavy lean towards A from Cloud9 as well. This is a great defense they have set up.
And Skadoodle already realizes no one's come mid. There's no smokes and no people that have shown themselves, so he's already rotated over and he's caught Lex, Shroud, Stunna. They're all going to do work as Freakazoid will find Anger. The only kill for G, make it 2 now for him, is Snapfly, who takes down Shroud on his second one. Brings it back into a 1-on-3, but he's trapped inside the firebox. No real escape. As Freakazoid pops back out, he'll get his second in the round, and there you go. Stunna's got a kill before Sean does. Not to call Sean out, but it's good to see Stunna contributing early.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they skewed over I mean, they put him in a situation where he had so many teammates around him to help him out. So that was a huge A stack, and they just destroy Luminosity coming out. Even with 2 players spotted and CT spawned behind the phone booth, they didn't expect Shroud, who just had a couple free kills underneath the balcony. So well done by Cloud9 in that pistol round. This looks like it's going to be a very similar execution from Luminosity onto this A site. They do have those deagles out, 4 of them that they're known for.
They love it. I think it's awesome to see. Oh, we'll see if they can find 1 from 4 or 4 from 1, the Musketeers style. That's normally 3 Illuminati, but either way, the Deagle's looking for the one-shots. Skadoodle still just making sure underpass isn't going to be in contention. He's almost in shock that no one's been there 2 rounds in a row, and Stunna already finding Lex, gets traded. Anger does make good work with his Deagle. It's not 1, but it's 2. Either way, the opponent's down, the player's dead inside the site. A Skadoodle, excellent shot. That scout right in the head of Napfly midair. Well composed, puts him down. Freakazoid coming around from CT, gonna put a nade out, doesn't matter. Pith's already dropped, so the nade won't do any damage, and Sean Gare's closing out the round. The Deagles don't really do anything, aside from the one kill on Stunna.
Yeah, Cloud9 players, I was watching Shroud, they just played that really well, not fully peeking, just kind of half peeking, you know, baiting the first shot out, taking their battles, but not getting too much to be exposed from different angles from multiple Deagles at a time, so they neutralized that Deagle buy, and once again, we have another one out of Luminosity, so they bought 3 this round.
Yeah, aggressive forcing. Because they pretty much...
Well, they haven't got a plan either.
I was going to say they pretty much need a plant to get up to a full buy with full utility next round. As I just quickly do the math, yeah, specifically for Lex and Peter, who are on 19 and 1700 respectively. They're going to change it up, though. This is a B approach as opposed to A. Nafly's already been tagged down. The nade does catch him. Shroud puts that out and well placed. Does catch Naf before he can fade off to the left. And even if he would have tried, that scout was still firmly staring him down. There's Lex, though. There's the Deagle they're known for, as he does find Stunna. And we'll see if he can get rolling, because it's so stylish and fun to watch when these Deagles are on.
Yeah, just punishing Stunna. Once again, he's the player who fell last round. They're going to smoke off connector so that Shroud can afford to look the other way, but there's a slight gap in it. He might not feel too comfortable. Nice shot out of the first one. Takes his head off. Gets traded out immediately. Skadoodle with that scout. Tags up Lex. Pulls out the pistol. He's got one close to his left. He's got to be very, very careful. He tags Anger as well. So much damage done by Skadoodle here, but no kills landing quite yet. It's a 3-on-3 retake, and Peter's left all out in the open. A nice flashbang. Freakazoid enters in on the bomb site and just destroys everyone. But there's the plant that Luminosity was looking for. There's the plant they needed for this next round bye.
Very well done. Because, yeah, they were in a really tight spot without it. This should put everyone easily into AK range. I don't know with 50 for Pith if he'll be able... Yeah, he will be able to get nades. I wasn't thinking about the math correctly. Look at Sean Gares. He's going to hold on to this mag, so is this going to be similar? One upgrade coming out already. What does Skadoodle go with? He has money for the op. He's going to go for it, no surprise. But the other two don't upgrade. So this is similar to what we talked about in the last match, where you don't upgrade in this round. Okay, late upgrade from Freakazoid. Sean, though, stays with it. You don't upgrade, you potentially pick up more economy if you do win the round.
Yeah, especially at a bomb set like B. And look at Luminosity, once again, this is... I mean, no map presence whatsoever, no pressure from them. Skadoodle has all this intel, no one's in mid, he's going to peek underpass once in a while, but he knows no one is coming into that portion of the bomb site. So this looks like they just want to abuse where Stun is playing, to be quite honest with you.
Completely reverse angle for Skadoodle. I'm so surprised with no mid presence at all. 4 rounds in, we haven't seen anyone, aside from Nafly, who got taken down not having a gun. He's the only one that's really put any presence on mid. So Skadoodle's already changing things up. He doesn't even need to be there. This allows him to rotate quicker into the site as well. When they do come in, Stunna pops out, does take down Pith. Good first shot. Nafly trades it. Gives him a bit more hope to come in, but look at Freakazoid, not spotted. Now he is. Nafly, excellent execution as he does find him. Shroud, though, coming over the top, finds Lex. Anger answers into him. They're exposing themselves for this trade, and LG are making full use of it. Now they need to be so careful because Skadoodle's still in place. Spots up Anger's hand, not able to land the shot. That's going to blind him, but he gets aggressive. He falls off the stairwell, wants to use this smoke to potentially bull out Peter. As Nafly has already retreated into the cover of the stairwell, and Ska not able to hit the no-scope, just slightly too far to the left, and it leaves it Sean Gares with a shotgun in a really tight position at Sandwich, and Luminosity Gaming that time, they'll come away with it. That looked a little bit slow coming in, but they get away with 3 players alive, so good late-round execution once they had the bomb down.
Yeah, and this will force a save on a Cloud9. 3 members... Shroud only at 3K, so they are going to save right off the bat, make sure they can get another full buy it. Early on in the half, they don't want to ruin their money situation so badly that it just punishes them. But this is going to give Peter a free ADVP in this round. He's just going to use it to spot mid. He's going to fall off, and now we're kind of seeing that spread out default from Luminosity. 2 players over towards B, 2 players over towards A, just watching for any kind of aggressive eco call.
Lex, by the way, I watched him on his stream. Watch for him to head toward the B apartments quite a lot, even on A executions, because he has this smoke that he throws out. There's a sort of a Persian rug or a Turkish rug, if you will, directly above the wall, the red wall in the courtyard at B, and that lands at connector, and he practices it non-stop. So if he can land that, it lands high side of connector and lets them push down mid for free without exposing themselves. And I mean, the only other set smoke you can put in to hit that is on an A, so it's a direct A, or it's at the low side of the connector. And you have to land it at least on the third stair to cover the top of connector if you're going to throw the low side connector smoke. So
3-man stack over towards B. That's where the bomb is for Luminosity. This could actually turn out pretty well. The bomb's going to fall off, though, so they just throw these smokes as a little bit of a fake. Might put some little pressure on it, but they're not going to commit to this. And the bomb's rotating back to exploit the A bomb site. Freakazoid 8 and A, down to 11 HP. This is looking really good for Luminosity at the moment.
Really good indeed. Anger finding Stunna already in the site. Shroud has to desperately backpedal over toward A. Skadoodle finding Lex as the lurk. But Anger's found Shroud in the A site. That's more crucial because that's where the bomb is. As Nafly, he'll lose out to Sean, interestingly enough, despite that the M4 was dropped in his favor. So Sean now has the AK to work with.
There's a little bit of a death cam fake, but it doesn't work out. Anger pops out the window, spots Sean. Sean wins that battle. That's another gun out of Luminosity's hand. So hunting that gun down got a little bit expensive. Money they didn't really have to do. And you can see the other two players playing it a little more passively. Peter finds the angle, though, peeks into Sean.
So Cloud9 now giving up a few rounds once the guns come out. I'll get back into a buy here. And again, that upgrade. We saw that upgrade on round 4. They lost that. They had to go for a staggered setup that time. More and more teams, again, it's that gamble with the SMGs. They could have potentially had more to work with in round 5, but
they're really late getting out of spawn at the moment, especially Skadoodle with that op. That could be huge if he wanted to go mid to try and get a pick, and he might still peek it.
Stunna was the only one out. He's going to smoke A ramp.
They're just abusing Stunna. Yeah, fast through the smoke, and Pitt's just going to take him down. They're abusing that.
Yeah, they need to stack that up. Or fall him back passively, because he's getting predictable going to Shadow every time. So Anger's going to find Skadoodle. The Shroud still wants to come back up over the stairwell. Sean Gare's locked in place right now again with the shotgun, so he's in a really tight spot because he has to get up close with it, and he's not finding the time to do it. If he can at least get the sandwich before they cross, there's a chance he can do some damage, but by being locked like that, it doesn't allow him. But look at Shroud. Anger and Fly down. Bomb is in position, but the bomb planner and the support player already out of the play. As Peter and Lex, they have to do the job. 3 versus 2 with Emma Man down. Peter finding the first. His Freakazoid to drop, but Lex gets stuck in sandwich, and Peter's low HP. They try and push on. He can't land that op shot. And Sean Gare switching to the pistol will close out on him and get the defuse, so Cloud9 make up for lost ground immediately.
Yeah, that Shroud that round was an absolute beast. 4 kills for him. Pulls them back into the round because Luminosity got into that bomb site so very early, but they kept up the aggression before the smokes deployed. That's kind of what allowed Shroud to get that first kill. Pitt kept pushing up over towards Connector and over towards Jungle, and he gets punished for it. But still, nonetheless, that was a round that was firmly in Luminosity's way until Shroud comes out with that double kill right after the plant went down. Nicely done from him.
Stunna again goes back to this shadow position. A little bit more help, though, as they do add a smoke to the mix from Shroud onto Palace early. That lets Stunna play a more direct angle on the A ramp where he doesn't have to feel like he's going to be exposed or get blindsided.
It looks like Lex wants to lurk him, though. Stunna's the one that they're leaving alone into this bomb site, so Lex is gonna be the player to lurk him.
Problem is Shroud hasn't rotated yet. There hasn't been a lot of read, though. There hasn't been much giveaway that they are going to be stacking up on this B site and LG's side to try and go for this take. That smoke comes out from Sean late. That buys a little bit more time. And Lex, he'll find Stunna. Now that's interesting. Stunna goes down there, but that's almost worth it because he pushes into A ramp to get information. The problem is where he died so soon before he gets around the corner, he doesn't actually know how many players are there. So it still works in Lex's favor as he goes back to the site and Skadoodle and Shroud are yet to rotate. LG, now they're slowly working up. Freak Noise, there's no one mid. So he'll play from get right spot. But again, look at Sean using all of the utilities to slow them down. First flash, that one's going to catch them all. And it's going to be Freakazoid that still has 2 flashes. He needs to make quick use of them, otherwise they're not going to get into much play as he gets blinded up, but he takes down Anger on the drop, spamming away, and Sean Gears finds Pitt. That looked like it was going to go the Swede's way, but unfortunately it does not. And Nafly, he'll make up for it as they come in. They trade it back, but there it is. The rotations might come over a little bit late due to Lex lurking, but he gets over. He's still on their heels. They didn't cancel him out, and he has the HP advantage. Skadoodle not able to hit the up-close shot this time, and Lex not able to take him down, and you know Skadoodle's scary when he gets a second chance, but Lex makes no mistake. And Luminosity, man, late lurk from Lex pulls that back.
Yeah, beautiful play from Lex as well with the time dwindling down. He knows he's got to hurry things up. He gets over there extremely quickly from that A bomb site and ends up winning the round for him, so nicely done from him. But that was a good crossfire, and Luminosity used a lot of utility just to get out of the halls. They just kind of got cleaned up. That crossfire between Freakazoid and Sean held them off for just long enough for the rotation for the support to come in from the other players. But Lex pulls them back into it. And now just a dry walk up this A ramp. Peter's going to pick into the bomb site with his AWP. He's got to be very careful. Close left is where Shroud's playing, but Naf takes him out. Now Anger comes streaming out of the balcony. Finds Skadoodle underneath. Stun is over there at triple. He does get one. He gets pit, but he gets cleaned up immediately afterwards. So this is going to be a very safe, very clean round for Luminosity.
Yeah, very clean indeed. Well executed. Allows them to build up their bank a little bit too. I mean, this is big. Having it 4-4 early with a back-and-forth economy actually really helps the T side, because Cloud9 have to invest more in every round than the T side does.
Yeah,
and look at this. Look at Skadoodle. No armor.
Yeah, and even Famas is across the board for Freakazoid and Shroud and Sean, and no kits. And not really a whole lot of utility whatsoever. I mean, they have 4 smokes, but, you know, only 3 flashbangs across the whole team. And there's 0 mid presence from either of these teams basically in this whole half. Neither team has really contested mid whatsoever.
Skadoodle's in a decent spot to cover off A on the entry, but look at mid. This is so weird. No mid presence at all from either team.
I know, it's for all 8 rounds, really. I mean, Skadoodle's been there a couple times, but he hasn't found anyone.
No underpass lurk to get close on connector, no smoke on the window. It's not even required. Both teams have essentially just given it up. I don't think you'd ever see this in Europe. And it's not like it's not working. They're both doing it. It's not one team to blame. It's not even being utilized. It's like a vacant... I'm wondering if there's tumbleweeds in there at this point.
Yeah, and there's so... I mean, even like, look, none of the Luminosity players are even looking at their flank. If there happened to be a push by Cloud9 up middle, that's just a free couple of kills and free information, so...
The weird thing is, where it's being played passive and they have 4 and A, even to take mid on the T side, you still have to execute on the site. So it kind of actually almost favors the CTs that they're not playing middle. But right now, Nafly, he'll take stun on the entry, and he makes good work as well as he comes around and catches Shroud out completely unawares. Freakazoid finally getting a response kill for Cloud9. Pith's going to find Sean Gares and give the lead back, but look at Freak. Well played. Swapping guns, uses the AK to full effect. He's looking hot again tonight. He's up to 8 kills. Shroud leads the way, but Freak's not far behind. Peter's still with the op. He wants to try and come up and do the job, but it's going to be Pith that gets the kill. Keep in mind, these guys are all due to move to a gaming house together, I think some point in June.
Not all of them, but most of them, yes.
Well, I think the plan is for Peter to go up late, and then Lex will go up occasionally, but not full time. That's pretty cool, though. It's good to see them having that much commitment to it.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, it's showing even them being spread out at the moment, not in that gaming house. I mean, these executes. Although we've talked about the lack of mid control, these executes out of the A bomb set have looked very, very well done from Luminosity. But look at this B stack. Look at this call from Cloud9. 4 players over in B right now. So, and Sean's even pushing up. This might bait a push, and Naf looks away at the wrong moment, but he's able to recover and get the kill. Oh, Sean's got to be a little bit crushed off that one.
This is the case though. If I'm stuck on a smoke, but if you get the chance to take mid, Skadoodle makes good work. He finds 2 kills in the round. Pith goes down. Peter finally responding into Skadoodle, but now he's got a double. He finds Stunna as well. Shroud's boosted up. This is a good spot to be in late. He drops down, catches Lex completely off guard. Nafly has to come out and find a response, but he's got to worry about Freakazoid, who's going to be behind him in 2 seconds, and with 3 HP, he has to nail an AK shot. He won't do it. Freakazoid gets in position far too quickly. If that could have been executed much better. They threw out the window smoke from Lex, and if they'd put presence toward mid a little bit earlier on in a couple other rounds and found out that Cloud9's not putting anyone there, then they could have split catwalk so easily onto that B execute.
Yeah, they just, like, most of their hits have all been very patient, and they just kind of ran into that stack. I mean, that was a great call from Cloud9. Luminosity wasn't expecting it whatsoever. That push from Sean kind of lures him into it, you know, thinking he's pushing to try and find some information so they can keep their stack over at the A site. So they execute immediately after it. So a little bit of a bait there from Cloud9 works in their favor. But it's these gun rounds that have really been the issue. It's been 5 gun rounds for Luminosity. Only 2 go in the way of Cloud9 so far. And once again, no actual mid presence, but at least this time they're spread out. They're spotting things. They're looking for any kind of aggression, looking for any kind of push. And they're just going to wait it out for a little bit.
So Sean, he's going to be pretty much alone this time on B. Cloud9 going back to this 4A set. Well, Skadoodle's in between the window, I guess you could say, in jungle, but it's really passive on mid. That allows them to stack up A lot quicker. LG, this is the thing with LG. They're getting rounds, which is actually working quite well in their executions. I fully commend them for that. But if they put someone middle, or they got a little bit more information in that position to what exactly is... I think maybe... I don't know if they're scared of Skadoodle or what, because they definitely know the window smoke. Lex has hit it both times he's thrown it. But if they could get a read there and realize that it's a 4A stack early, then they have more potential to execute on Sean at B, or just utilize mid to their advantage like we saw last time. Could have got up Catwalk for free.
Yeah, that was kind of an execute to take all the utility out of the A defenders. Look at this rotate. So many players coming off with 20 seconds left. They think it's got to be a B commit. Freakazoid does stay back. Now it's kind of up a little bit. He spots one, so it actually is come back to A. But Shroud and Skadoodle grab two. Freakazoid on top of the stairway spots him, and now Stunna even chimes in, just mowing him down. And it looks so good for a second, but they missed their window of opportunity, and Cloud9 shuts it down completely.
Yeah, that hold was much better. It's kind of weird because we don't really get to see Skadoodle go nuts because he's not getting the openings to do it. It's all rifle battle.
You actually said it correct. I think they might just be avoiding Skadoodle. I mean, they didn't even want to duel him. I think they're a little bit scared of it. So we talked about that Peter-Skadoodle matchup, and it looks like Luminosity's plan here against Cloud9 is just kind of to avoid the Skadoodle as much as possible because they're hitting A where they can easily smoke him off in that central opposition.
The other aspect of that is they're hitting A where Stunna is, not nothing, so... Not nothing. Sounds like some harsh English from the redneck world, but Shroud, he's going to take down Anger. Skadoodle finding Lex. Now he's contributing, and he actually gets a fire kill on an Affleck. Peter, though, good response, and Pith equally as good with the pistol. He'll take down Skadoodle. Now Pith picks up an M4. He's going to turn this back into a 1-on-2, but that's as far as he gets. Freakazoid will find him immediately after, and 5 rounds already for Luminosity. Cloud9 look to make a case late, but we're going to see rifles come immediately back out for Luminosity. What's the utilities going to be? Everyone's pretty much loaded, so they've all got smokes, except Anger. Okay, poor Anger.
Yeah, poor Anger. And will this be the round? Are they actually going to go towards Skadoodle? I'm kind of interested that Cloud9 hasn't really rotated
like
in a position where it can be a little bit more aggressive. Oh, yep, they are. They're going right at him. So there's the window smoke coming in. He's just bouncing, and it's about to plume. So Skadoodle's going to get neutralized in his position here.
And they do the 2 underpass. And this is smart. They had to get that smoke out before going for the peak because they don't have a op to counter it. They can't try and take the 1-on-1. Skadoodle knows there's potentially someone underpass, pops a flash out. That catches Anger and Nafly, but now they've got a bit of a mid-presence. This is more normalized. Shroud's going to be the one to cover off on the top of Connector as Freakazoid Stunna. They're both in really aggressive positions on A. And Stunna, is he going to go through the smoke? No, I thought he might try and push the Palace just to get a reverse position if they do eventually give up Connector, but so far it's pretty standard right now.
Lex is
Peter's
going to
rotate back with the bomb.
Yeah, Lex is going to lurk up this ramp, and he's going to run into Freakazoid, but he actually falls it back. It looked like they wanted to do a pinch, and that actually does look like their endgame.
Peter's going to join him. Like I said, was coming over with the bomb. Lex is exposed. Sonnet tries to counter out the peak and does successfully. Lex gets caught. Good positions from Cloud9 to shuffle off of that. But now Anger is inside Connector, and here's the advantage of that. This is why mid is crucial on an A take because they can split the site, but not if Freakazoid's still alive and well down below Stunna. So they've got a double position, and they're going to utilize it to perfection as Stunna picks up a second in the round. Now they cancel it out. Finally, they get full awareness of both players, and they'll capitalize on the positioning as bomb is going to go down from Peter. Pith still looking for Sean Gares, who hasn't come through the vents. Now he does, but is he going to get spotted in time? Does successfully. Pith takes him off, and it's all left to the op of Skadoodle. We've seen him do crazier things, and he almost has time to readjust the sights, but not before Peter gets the last bullet from the AK into him. And Luminosity answering back. 6 now on Mirage T side. Not too bad at all. 9-6 is sort of where we're seeing the Europeans end up, specifically if you don't get a pistol T side, so it's looking pretty good for Luminosity. This is where they should be at this point, I think.
Yeah, that was well executed because Luminosity actually lost the early battles to Cloud9 there, but they kept with it. They managed to break their way into the bomb site. And I think that Connector play might have caught Cloud9 a little bit off guard, having not seen it yet this entire half. Also, that 2-on-1 was played so well by Peter and Pitt. They actually stayed close to the plant boxes and instead of trying to fall back and spread out, they knew they're going against an Opper. They might not expect him to have it here this round, but Skadoodle just pulls out a nade at the wrong moment. Here comes the execute. He's going to win the battle on an AF. Skadoodle takes him out. Freakazoid takes out Pitt, so it's a 5-on-3. Lex is doing some lurking, but Shroud drops that middle play. And quickly down to a 2-on-4. Luminosity's forced away from the A bomb site.
So Sean will just wait it out. This thing slow down massively.
I don't think Luminosity was expecting an op. There's no way they would have dry peeked up that A ramp if they had thought that Scoodle was going to have an op.
Well, the money was tight otherwise, so it was a decent anticipation, but incorrectly so. And if that's the case, they'll likely kick themselves over that. I mean, keep in mind, it's a naked up from Skadoodle. He went glass cannon, and a lot more players are doing that, so you can catch them off. If he doesn't glass cannon, then their math is correct, but Freakazoid has good position. He'll catch Lex crossing over, and Anger's got nowhere to hide. He may get the first. No, he's not even going to get that, so Freak closes out the round 15. He now is tied with Shroud, and they both lead the way, so he's definitely coming into this roster hot. He's looking good lately.
Yeah, I mean, against Keatstars last night, he was exceptional playing in mid, just shutting it down. Every time they went anywhere where Freakazoid was, he had 1 to 2 kills minimum. It's looking very, very similar situation. He's tied with Shroud for the lead with 15 kills on Cloud9 side. Skadoodle's got 11. On this side, it's Peter and Naf with 11 each. And Luminosity full buys here, or whatever they can buy. They all Tech 9s and Deagles across the board, but they have a lot of utility. 5 smokes, a bunch of flashbangs, 2 Molotovs even. So they've got something in mind for this, and it is going to be that A execute. Anger drops a grenade down underneath balcony. Doesn't touch Stunna, but he knows exactly where he is. So now we're seeing the defense rotate back over towards this A bomb site.
So passive from LG in these last 2 rounds. Really, really slow and calculated. Again, Lex is in position now. Does Lex have... Or did he already throw it? He has the smoke. I don't know if we can get a camera over to Lex. Okay, he's not in position. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to try and throw this if they go on A. So watch how he lines this up. This is a really cool smoke. Come on, Lex. Don't let me down. I've only been talking about it all game. Here it is. He's going to line it up right now. So into the corner, crosshair on the top part of the scaffolding, and on the bottom, or at least on my view model, the bottom of the rug. That lands at the top of connector if he does it successfully. So that covers off one aspect into A. And they'll execute immediately after it lands. It's successful. It's covered. Shroud has no vision. He has to get forced out, but he does so successfully. He'll find Napfly, Skadoodle onto Peter immediately after. And unfortunately, despite that the smokes are lined up awesome on the site, they just don't have the rifles to complement the take. So it comes down to Lex. That lurk player's the last one left, and Shroud's going to find him. But yeah, that smoke, he's been working really hard on that all week.
Well, he nails it there. He's got to be happy about that one. But still, here's the thing. Now, we saw them kind of, it looked a lot like they were trying to punish the fact that Stunna was playing a little bit of inexperience. It's not nothing, so they're going at someone who's not at the professional level. On their CT side, they can't really do that. This is Cloud9's, decision of how where they want to go, so they can't just on one player. And you can bet Cloud9's T side is, being more experienced internationally, everything like that. They're gonna have more mid control involved on their offense. They're not just gonna sit back behind these bomb sites and wait to execute. They're gonna try and find some picks. They're gonna try and make some things happen, and they're gonna be aggressive on getting map control.
Yeah, I would expect a little bit more mid presence because Skadoodle's not going to be scared to take that mid fight. Could you imagine Skadoodle being scared to take an op fight?
I don't think Skadoodle's scared of anything.
He's such a calm dude, but yeah, I think you're dead right. In the world of Counterstrike, he's game on. By the way, he owes me royalties because he combined 2 of my photos to make his Cloud9 Twitter photo. Yeah, photoshopped without permission and written consent. I'm expecting half of his signing bonus to be put into my bank account any minute.
You're not a photographer. You can't pull that.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? Just because I haven't had time for that lately, you're going to take away my moniker and my schooling?
You gave up that career path long ago.
Oh, God. Oh, the amount of the stuff I've invested in, money I've invested into gear, you're making me cringe with that statement. Oh, God, it hurts. It actually hurts to think. I'm so far behind, it's crazy. I've got so many photos from Europe. I'm still editing fashion stuff from 2013. It sucks, Moses.
I mean, 2013, isn't there just a point where you just kind of give up?
Move on, I should, but the problem is that the stuff I've shot back then is really, some of it's really good. I have given up on some of it, but there's some really good portfolio shots back there that I have to go back for. I can't leave them behind. No man shall be left behind.
Except for, yeah, all right.
What were you going to say? Say it.
No, let's just move on.
Okay, we're moving on. We're going to move on to the pistol round of the second half. 9-6 scoreline for Cloud9. Not a bad start. Pretty even for both teams. Luminosity. 6 is good. 6 is a baseline. 7 would have given them a heck of a better chance, but we'll see how they control this. Again, didn't see a lot of mid-presence in the first half. That might change now that Cloud9 are controlling it on the T side. Or setting the pace, I should say.
Yeah, it looks like Shroud wants to get a little bit aggressive with that base of Catwalk smoke. That changing the meta. But the Euros kind of introduce. Freakazoid spots 2 over at B. He does see both of them.
We'll see if he can make good on it as Anger moves up. Tries to get himself into the corner, but he's awkwardly exposed and just barely gets out of the window. That could have been absolutely massive if he got caught there for Cloud9, because it would have been an easy entry. In fact, they still get him regardless, as Lex only able to get 1 trade before Freak will put him in the grave. But Peter, he makes good work. 2 now for him. Skadoodle on 24 HP. Shroud cuts off the rotation from Pith, excuse me. Coming over from the A side, and Shroud's going to go back into Peter, so this suddenly looks good now for Cloud9, all based on the fact that Shroud's come in late with high HP, so even though Skadoodle's in a tight position, Shroud's late presence might be the difference. As Nafly gets 1, he swaps over the pistols, he drops the first, has to try and bait out this bomb because he has no kit, he has to hit the shot right now, and Shroud knows it. Round's over regardless. So it's all for consolation, it's just a grudge match at this point, and the bragging rights are going to go to Shroud. Unfortunately, Shroud's going to lose this Tech 9.
That was actually really, really good play from Shroud, coming up mid-late, being a flanker, takes out Pit, takes out 2 in the bomb site there at the end that we saw. But that plant wasn't for him at all. If heaven forbid, if that defuse had come in just a little bit earlier, if his teammate had fallen just a few seconds before that, Luminosity basically could have had a free defuse. He would have had to really push it around a weird angle for a plant that he can't see. So we do see a second round buyout of Luminosity. 2 scouts. We've seen a lot of teams go 3. They stick with 2. And there's that deagle on Anger as well.
Anger looking for the deagle. As you said, on Freakazoids, the player that was on would have been on the receiving end at least, as Lex now will jump up and down behind the van trying to scout out with that scout. Scout out with that scout. How Canadian. I'm making it even more Canadian this time. But good lurk from Pith. He goes forward, finds Stunna. So Jordan still not back at his computer after the podcast today, and Stunna gets caught.
This basically, this resigns him to this B hit. They have no map control. And Lex is going to open things up on a shot with a beautiful headshot. Even Nap.
Anger popping back out. Can't land the deagle this time, so it looked like it was going to be good. LG's known for it already in this season, but doesn't work out. Skadoodle answers back with a scout shot of his own, but look at the HP. It's so low. Shroud already dropping, and Skadoodle 1 on 4. He may get 1, but I can't imagine him asking for much more than that. And Peter's going to close it out. They'll bring it right back. Good eco from LG.
Yeah, a really good eco. That kill, it comes down to having mid presence, and this is why map control is so important on this. When Stunna dies in those A halls, and they have 4 in the B halls, there's nowhere that they can fall back to. They don't have the time to clear everything out to get any advanced positioning, and that's why you have to have map control going into these hits. You want to be able to be mobile, you want to be able to fall back off something that's not going to work, and those scouts just come up huge for Luminosity, so very well done by them.
Just want to go back thinking about Lex's smoke that we brought up. That would work really well on a B take, less so than an A, because he's so far away from the site, and all it does is trap people in. That'd be good if you wanted to take Catwalk. I don't know why that just came to my mind now, but it did. Because you already have a person at B, and you can smoke A without designating one to mid. Either way, guns out for C9 now. Pitt's going to be trying to fire down onto Shroud, and again, Cloud9, a lot more mid-presence than we saw from them in this round than pretty much any round, except the one late from LG. Shroud's going to find Anger, but before that, Anger did take down Sean Gears, so things are still looking good for LG's. Pitt now going to find Stunna. And it's all on Skadoodle. This time he does have full health in the 1v4, but it's in a similar situation. He might, he could fully well get this bomb plant. Pyth's in good position to try and pop back out. Can he get it before it goes down? No, just after. So money still goes Cloud9's way. That's a bit of a win in that situation.
Yeah, that's absolutely a win. They should be able to buy this next round off that. This is going to put it at 8-10, so you even things up just a little bit. And yeah, that mid presence is going to be good when they have the rifles. You know, that round was an eco round, but they still had, you know, 3 or 4 players there. They might actually save one more here to get an AWP in Skadoodle's hands. That might be the play, but nope, it's Cloud9. They're just going to buy up. And Skadoodle goes for the naked AWP on the terror side once again, so no armor on him. And he's going to head over towards B with it. Looks like he might want to try and grab a jumping set. Nope, he's just going to watch for a B push. And actually, there is a B presence from Luminosity. They're pushing up. Skadoodle might be able to catch off Pit. He's about to come to the top, but he misses the shot.
Stunna is going to be the lurk on A this time. They're designating him to that position to keep all their firepower together. He throws out one flash onto A site. Half-Light has rotated. Whether or not that's a result of it, I'm not sure, but he has rotated away from connector over to the far side of the A side again on the CT stairs, so that pulls him off a rotation or a quick rotation position. But they're coming underpass, so they still may go for a split on this A site.
Yeah, they very well could. They have the mid presence. They have two players underneath the window.
Lex was spotted. He tried to get in the corner. Hiko's thrown that flash. Freiberg actually throws that flash when he plays it. Just pop it directly up at the second pillar, the second little roof truss that pops out, and it immediately comes down and blinds everyone.
Looks like Cloud9 wants to
before he
boost.
gets it.
Yeah, it looks like Cloud9 wants to boost into the window almost, and there's no one there from Luminosity. Actually, they fall away from it at the last second. Molotov drops right in front of the connector. This is going to delay things, but no rotation whatsoever. Peter wins the first battle on a Stunna, pushing down A ramp. He's going to clear that. The entire attack is coming up connector. Naf gets the first one before getting traded out.
And that does give Cloud9 a bit more breathing room. Skadoodle's going to give them even more than that as he finds Lurk rotating early. No smoking connector to cover that off. So Shroud now getting back into Peter. But Pith, he brings this back down to a 2-on-1, favoring his team. Skadoodle with the op has to fall off this. There's only 5 seconds. He needs to survive. Specifically needs to survive T-side, and he will. Pith's not hot enough on his hills, so he'll get behind the boxes. He'll save this op. But the round's going to go to Luminosity. We're going to get one closer here for the CT side.
Yeah, and Scooter doesn't get any money off that, so he's going to be alone with the weapon with the naked op once again. And if he falls this round, which is more than likely, I mean, since he didn't get money last round, he's not going to be able to afford a sniper rifle in the next round when they want to buy. So this could actually be very intriguing to see what he can do with it.
Peter, oh, he wasn't in position. He had his knife out still. He thought he could get aggressive, but he had no idea they would be set up already that quickly. And Skadoodle almost made him pay the price. He has to bail out and get immediately back down on the site. That was a scary moment.
That's a shot Skadoodle hits more often than not. That was a clean shot. Lex does go down to 12 HP, but he takes out Freakazoid.
So LG still get the advantage when that could have been so crucial. They lose that player at B. They have an op set up. He finds the opening, and then the pistols would have rushed in immediately after. They would have had to. But now they have to reset. So Cloud9 go back over toward A, back to the drawing board, see if they can execute. Pith's up close on top of the balcony, staring down Palace with the AK. He's actually going to drop fire out. That'll prevent Stunna from pushing forward anymore. And the rest of them, as a result, have to wait on the stairs at A because it won't be a split entry. It'll be a solo take, and they'll be lined up for Nafly. Peter's going to come over and get in position to also take the shot from jungle onto Palace. So Stunna's going to have more problems than just Pith to deal with, who gets in an angle that he can cover both when they drop in. But Nafly's already found 2. There it is, completely unobtruded. And there it is, unobtruded. Great word. I make them up as I go.
It sounded like a real one. That's all that matters. So
That's
10
all
to 10,
that
they tie things up. And like I said, no, they're going to buy here, but Scooter's only got 3K, so he's going to either have to go for a Tech 9 or a Galil. Not going to be able to afford that op. He does pick up the Tech 9 to get looks in the flashbangs. And the question is, where does C9 find an opening? Because they've wanted an op in Scooter's hands this whole half. They don't have it, so who's going to be the one to provide it? 4 members heading over towards this B bomb site with the bomb.
Nafly, aggressive angle with op for him, so he's going to be the secondary opper for LG in this position. Again, we talked about how this map, he was famous for those 2 rounds he had on the CT side, and he tries to get aggressive on mid. So LG defensively are aware that Cloud9 do want to play that position, but what they may not be aware of is that they have 2 players late from underpass, and they've already resigned their presence inside the connector. Pith will find Stunna.
Yeah,
has had to play the entire game.
Yeah, I said that the Cloud9 T side, they wouldn't be able to pick on Stunna as much, but they really are. They kind of sense that he's going to be the one player looking at the A ramp, and that's like the 2nd or 3rd time that Luminosity's got aggressive on him there. A nice flash is going to get Anger spot out mid and do some damage, but he can't get the kill.
He hardly does damage considering how many shots were fired. Only 56 remaining on Shroud, or rather still 56, I should say, because that could have been a kill. That almost should have been a kill from a guy like Ganger. He had 2 shots completely for free before he even responded to it. Look at Sean Gares and Skadoodle. Lex is waiting. Lex is going to throw that flash, but Sean, he throws it a little light, so that's a bit of a misplay. Lex does get Skadoodle. You can throw that flash straight up with a right click. That actually will come down and perfectly pop. Instead, he throws it shallow. It bounces off the door frame, and Sean could scout it out, spot it coming, and turns away from it. So they get the trade as a result. Either
Free
way,
win.
yeah, Peter's going to take down Sean Gares. So LG are in great shape now. Diffuse, they can't do anything. Freakazoid's too far away from it. But Lex actually, that's an interesting flash to see him throw it that way, because you can actually throw that almost straight up and have it be perfect and almost impossible to dodge.
And I feel like Cloud9's got to get a little bit more aggressive. They're playing this very, very slow pace. It hasn't worked out for them. They need to change something up. Skadoodle does go for a naked up again, but they can't let Stunna keep getting picked off at A ramp. They need to include him in some kind of an execute. And this time it's going to be Skadoodle who's going to be the lone A player. He's going up into halls to try and pick it off. Just watching for a push now, but at a certain point he'll get aggressive, try and peer into the bomb site and get a pick. And it's actually very surprising to me that despite having two players go underpass to mid, I mean, Luminosity is really the team who has controlled mid more often than not this half.
Again, we are going to see Skadoodle, man. This is aggressive stuff from him to get that op out. Obviously, they want him to have it full time. They want it to be reliable, and he knows he's good with it. And Lex, this time he'll try that pop. Again, he throws it shallow. It works well, but I think it can be a little bit more efficient if he pops that a little higher. Either way, no one was there that time, so Pith will find Skadoodle as he pushes forward with no armor. There's not much he could do against that M4. Whiffing on the first shot that close, there wasn't much anyway, but Pith did get down to 15. Gets candled out, so actually I think he did get tagged up by Skadoodle's first shot, interestingly enough. Stunna this time on the lurk will find Anger. That'll make us back down to at least a one closer situation, and they do get a plant. No smokes out on the site. And they still managed to get this plant. Lex is going to get caught, never come through the vents when there's no security on the other side. He thought he could beat Shroud to the punch, but Shroud's there, and he'll catch him with the slow movement speed. And Sean Gares will come back over, throw an 8 out. Nafly's caught, and this turns completely backwards. As LG had the initial pick, but the execution was swift. Cloud9 get the site, and Peter's got nowhere to go. Yeah, Shroud's going to hear him scoping in. He knows he's coming around, but Peter checks it. Well played and well aware, but Sean Gares quickly on his heels. Back and forth we go at this point. Cloud9 not giving up too much. They may have lost the lead, but they aren't giving it up much more than that.
Yeah, but this is the critical round of the match here. This is so incredibly important for Cloud9 to build off that first win. I mean, the economy for LG after this bye is going to be weak, so whoever loses this round has to save it. If it's Cloud9, that's going to be absolutely crushing to them. I mean, that's a good first win. And actually, it looks like NAF is only going to have a 5-7. Peter does still have the AWP, 2 kits. And this looks like a much more fast-paced strategy out of Cloud9, switching things up a little bit. The underpass play is much faster.
So this means that one player has to fall off a site. Peter's going to hold with op toward Palace. He's actually checking a really aggressive angle on A. If they were quick up connector, they could have caught him out on that because there's no flash or smoke, or rather smoke, excuse me, in place. Now it's going to get put out. So we'll see. This is interesting because they do want to still work this middle. They're going to go back, actually, because they don't really get any establishment on A. I mean, this is like Skadoodle's watching for a flank right now. I'm not sure. Like, they could actually be a lot more aggressive to try and allow Shroud that room to move. Pith does get taken down to 6. Now they've got a more of an opening, and Shroud comes up late. He'll find Pith. Good read and good call for him to get in position based on Sean tagging him up. So that's good teamwork. But again, it's such slow. Now Cloud9 arrives. They all had to rotate back over. Luckily, they haven't got much of a response from LG because they don't have smokes to slow down any of these choke points. That smoke's a little bit light, though. Small gap, and Anger takes advantage of it. He finds Sean Gares on the way through. Bomb's still going to get put in play by Freakazoid. Has to make sure Nafly gets down, and Stunna covers him off beautifully. Freakazoid now finds Anger as a result of still being alive, and Lex and Peter, they're going to make equal fates as Shroud finds the first, and what can Peter possibly do? Peter Piper picked up 4 Cloud9 players.
Yeah, he's got to bounce. He's got to leave. So he's going to try and save the state of VP. It looks like the hunt is on, though. Cloud9, knowing that despite not having a strong economy, it's going to be a save round from Luminosity either way. They want to get this op out of Peter's hands. They don't want to run into a situation where they have anything that can help them win an eco round, because they lost the second round of this match, and that was absolutely brutal. They lost the ensuing 4 rounds. So Peter does find Skadoodle, and now he runs towards him, tries to get away from all the Cloud9 players, and just hides in the cubby. And he should be able to get away here just in time, so they will have an op in this round, but they really shouldn't pick anything up outside of that. The economy at LG is so incredibly weak, hovering around 2K. Anger does have 3K, but So Cloud9 strings 2 together. It's going to be 12-11. Skadoodle has been relatively quiet this matchup. Both oppers really have. We haven't said too much about Peter and Skadoodle.
No, he has been quiet. And again, we never saw a mid presence come out first half, so he couldn't really get unleashed on the CT side.
But look at Shroud, 26 and 16 in this match.
Big play, huge play. Freakazoid's not far behind either, considering, again, a newer player speculation over how well he would do. He's on 20 and 12. That's a good scoreline, to be completely honest. But Shroud lurks up. Peter's caught. Add to it. He's on to 28 now.
I don't like that.
27,
I don't like that positioning from the Opera on that round. He put it in a position where it can be recycled, although Pith does find it, get aggressive through the smoke, and find a pick.
I kind of agree, though. That is really desperate, because if that gets picked up, it goes against him immediately. Lex is going to find Stunna, but he found Nafly exiting B before that. How fitting that a Cloud9 player exiting B gets caught. As Pith will take down Skadoodle. Pith will pop back out, so the op actually does come back into play even now that it's recovered. Sean Gares, he'll answer it. He'll put it down for good, but he's in a 1-on-2, and they're both on the front of the connector, and Sean finds Lex. Peeks out, knows he's there, but... Oh, is Sean... No, he actually misses a couple shots. Anger a little bit over-aggressive on the Deagle, gives it away. Now Sean just has to run back to A and go immediately for this bomb plant. That could have been working if he just slowed it down and if he took his time to hit that shot. Now he has to play for the retake. Does have the AK up. Sean has recovered one himself. He peeks out, knows exactly where Anger is. Flash. Anger won't get caught by this. He'll get on stairs. Pops up aggressively. Already spotted. Can't hit the shot. It's a game of cat and mouse, and Sean Gares still has the upper hand right now as time continues to tick. As Anger wants to get up close, wants to find a desperate angle. Still tries to get it, and as he pops out, Sean's going to end it. And Anger missing that shot in mid. It comes back to haunt him.
That round did not need to be that close. At Cloud9, Sean has a smoke, and they're coming up connector. Why doesn't Sean just smoke off jungle? Like, he smokes off jungle, Pit doesn't get those 2 kills, they plant, and it's, it's a 3-on-3. Much better than a 1-on-3, but that small mistake gives Pit a little bit of an opportunity, almost takes advantage of it. But Sean comes up huge for the team, so 13-11 now. And still a relatively weak buyout of Luminosity. Only 1 kid on their side. Look at the mid play. Shroud hasn't spotted it yet, although he does win it. He sprays 2 down. He adjusts the spray. Can he get Peter as well? He can't, but he's done so much damage. That forces him back. A great advantage for Cloud9 here in this round.
Stunna still alive despite low HP. Nafly finally gets a Cloud9 player out of it. Still take down Sean Gares, but they still want to execute on this A. They're going to come in strong. Nafly needs to be careful. He's reloading, and his head's still exposed from there, but he's waiting for that flash to come out. And he managed just to buy himself enough time to pick up 2. Almost the third as Stunna does get the shot as he comes in on the late entry. Now it's down to a 2-on-2. Peter's so low on HP that Freak is going to find him. You can't hide from a guy like Freakazoid. His entry job is working well right now, and they need to get this bomb in play, though. Freakazoid is going to go for this plant. Needs to get the support from Stunna, and Stunna's lurking out to the right as Lex comes in from the left, and luckily he spots him up before he can find Freakazoid in position to get that bomb down, but now he's got a bit of a problem. Never mind. Not when the nade comes out from Freakazoid. I was about to say he's trapped in the corner, but nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Another point, Shroud gets them two entry kills pushing mid, right? So they're in a 5-on-3, and they execute onto this A bomb site before the 1-minute mark. And they basically streamed in 1 by 1. Naf had 14 HP and gets 3 kills. Like, that can't happen. Those are mistakes that can't happen. They come out on top of the round anyways, but better teams are going to exploit that.
Lex is getting aggressive. This time he's actually pushed through the doorway, but that smoke, he's on the windowsill. He may not get spotted. I didn't actually know you could get that deep. Okay, no, he is still on the inside of the second doorway. I thought in that smoke he'd actually gone past it. I was going to say, that's a pretty cool spot I didn't know about, but it's not. It's just on top of the chair. He gets spotted nonetheless. Sean checks it on the way through, knowing they're going to be on an eco, and Cloud9 managed to pull this back. Luminosity had a brief lead. They had it to 11-10 at one point. Cloud9 now doing all the work. Peter, at least on the eco, is going to make damage into Shroud. They picked up an AK. They might try and go for this, but if they save the AK, it does build their economy, but they have to play it for match point at that point in time. So what's the call going to be? And Peter's running, so that looks like that is going to be the exact call. Why is Nafly still in spawn not moving? Okay, no, he's got a nade cocked. He's actually just waiting to pop this out in case they push out. He's actually in that position.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing. He wants to try and find an AK on an exit kill. They should have a pretty solid buy. The money bonus is going to be in full swing for him into the last round, but it's safe to say they've lost their grip on this match. 4 match points for Cloud9 here. And Peter can actually get an AWP if he drops that AK-47, so that might be their play. Regardless, I mean, here's the thing: Luminosity needs to find a way to get an early advantage. When they went on that winning streak early on, they were picking off Stunna at the bottom of stairs. They were making good rotations from that. Lately, it's been all Cloud9 early on. Peter picks up the AWP. He has a chance. Sean, this is a very fast A execute. Already coming up connector. This could catch him off guard. No smoke and jungle though. Sean gets the entry frag on Peter. The AWP is down. Pushes up towards A ramp. He takes out Shroud. He takes out Freakazoid. Nicely done by him, and the attack is ruined. It is over with.
And that AK, that single AK they sustained from the last round, Anger's now going to find Skadoodle. This looks all but over for Stunna. Imagine he could pull this off. The stand-in, going to stand tall. 1 versus 4, never mind. Lex popping out from behind him. And it's a tranquilizer into the spinal cords. But Luminosity, that's a good response. They sustain at least one more round. They push this out a little bit longer. They have the economy slowly dwindling away on Cloud9's side. They're going to be in a position to buy. Shroud's low, but they could actually go, so Skadoodle could go full op right now and then get a double FAMAS buy from Stunna. Or rather, excuse me, a double Galil buy from Stunna. It's not what they're going to do. They actually look confused inside spawn right now.
Yeah, they definitely were. And that round gives Luminosity a little bit of life here, because if Luminosity wins this round and Cloud9's forced onto a save, that's going to be, you know, a battle for overtime. Will be the last gun round of the half. So Luminosity, here's their last window of opportunity to get back into this match to force some overtime.
Well, we'll see if they can make it work. Stunna's going to be at mid. He's going to smoke bottom side of connector. That bounces a little bit far. I'm not sure if that left a gap on the right or not. Doesn't matter, though. Freakazoid's already making his entrance known. And Shroud's now going to find Anger. Won't matter. They're not going catwalk. They've already got B. That smoke was all for naught. Nafly, Peter, they realize this is desperate. They have to go 2 versus 5. They want this match to go any further. No point in saving. Let's see what they can do. If Nafly crosses over the window, waits for a flash out, but the smokes have dissolved on the doorway. They finally go away for Peter to try and have an entry sight, a line of sight into the back, and he's going to make it good. He takes down Skadoodle. Sean pops out, though. That's Naf gone, and now it's all Peter. 1 on 4. I won't make the same reference again, but it's a similar situation as he tries desperately with the op. He's going to keep the op, too. He knows he's grim, and he makes it stylish. At least gets up close, but that's all he'll do. Stunna, how fitting, gets the final kill, and he plays the whole match. Won't even matter for Cloud9. They pick up the win and remained unbeaten this season.